He is the most confidential, eternal servant of the Lord. But the second part is most important. He says, Tuya priti bandhe ami jagata prakasha. That the purpose of my descent or the purpose of my coming to this world is that throughout the world, let it be known that I am bound by your love. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears to reciprocate the love of his surrendered devotees. And the foremost of his surrendered devotees is Sivas Pandit. So I will take one aspect of how much love Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has in his heart for Sivas. An example and parallel can be drawn when we see the love of Krishna towards Arjuna. What Arjuna and Krishna actually, he wants to convey to the world that the love for Arjuna is so limitless that Krishna can take the position of a charioteer. Okay, when we will go into that episode, then we will discuss further. So I am picking up from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela. This is the 17th chapter, which is summarizing Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Navadip Leela. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is mentioning. So we all know, we have discussed, we have been very fortunate that we have been receiving shelter at Sivas Angan, the most happening place of Chaitanya Leela. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu regularly held congregational chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra in the house of Sivas Thakur every night for 1 full year. Tabe Prabhu Srivasera Grihe Nirantara Ratri Sankirtan Kaila Eka Samvatsara. This ecstatic dancing was performed with the doors closed, so that non-believers who came to make fun could not gain entrance. कपाट दिया कीर्तने करम परम आवेशे पाषंडी हसीते ऐसे ना पाए प्रवेशे. Chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is open to everyone, but sometimes non-believers come to disturb the ceremony of chanting. It is indicated herein that under such circumstances, the temple door should be closed. Only bona fide chanters should be admitted, others should not. But when there is large-scale congregational chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we keep our temples open for everyone to join. By the grace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this policy has given good results. Kirtan suni bahire tara jwali pundi mare. Kirtan suni bahire tara jwali puri mare. Shiva sera dukha dite nana yukti kare. Thus the non-believers, those who did not accept the supreme position of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his associates, and the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, almost burned to ashes and died out of envy. To retaliate, they planned various ways to give trouble to Sivas Thakur. So as I was discussing in the morning, before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advented, Sivas Thakur's place was the headquarters of Sankirtan. And all the 4 brothers, they were performing Sankirtan in all the 3 sessions, morning, afternoon, evening. And many were opposing. The non-believers were always opposing. So when the Sankirtan was in its peak, when it was being performed by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so these envious people, they were so much disturbed that their heart almost burned to ashes and died of envy. And they made a conspiracy they tried to put a conspiracy in place. So what is that conspiracy? एक दिन विप्र नाम गोपाल चपल पाषंडी पाषंडी प्रधान से दुर्मुख वचल भवानी पूजे सब सामग्री लाया रात्रि शिवा से रे द्वारे स्थान ले पाया. So amongst all those non-believers, Pashandi, atheists, or those who were the antagonistics, the person who was the most envious, his name was Gopal Chapal. So one night while Kirtan was going inside Shiva's Thakur house, the Brahman named Gopal Chapal, the chief of the non-believers, who was talkative and very rough in his speech, placed all the paraphernalia for worshipping the goddess Durga outside Shiva's Thakur's door. This Brahman, Gopal Chapal, wanted to defame Shiva's Thakur by proving that he was actually a Shakta or a worshipper of Bhavani, the goddess Durga, but was externally posing as a Vaishnava. In Bengal, there is a perpetual competition between the devotees of goddess Kali and devotees of Lord Krishna. So it is everywhere. If you go to South, there is still more fierce competition between the Vaishnavas and the बोलिए. The believers of Lord Kali are replaced.
Shivites.
Yes, by the Shivites. They believe that Shiva is the supreme. Generally, Bengali, especially those who are meat eaters and drunkards, Prabhupada is exposing, are very much attached to worshipping the goddess Kali, Durga, Shitala, and Chandi. Such devotees who are known as Shaktas or worshippers of the Shakti Tattva are always envious of Vaishnavas. Since Shiva Thakur was a well-known and respected Vaishnava in Navadip, Gopal Chabal wanted to reduce his prestige by bringing him down to the platform of Shaktas. Therefore, outside Shiva's Thakur's door, he placed various paraphernalia for worshipping Bhavani, the wife of Lord Shiva, such as red flower, a plantain leaf, a pot of wine, and reddish sandalwood paste. In the morning, when Shiva's Thakur saw all the paraphernalia in front of his door, he called for the respectable gentlemen of the neighborhood and showed them at night he was worshipping Bhavani. Very sorry, these gentlemen called for a sweeper to clean the place and purify it by sprinkling water and counting them. This incident concerning Gopal Chapal is not mentioned in the Chaitanya Bhagavat. That is how Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur has not mentioned. So Kaviraj Goswami is mentioning. Kalara pata upare thuilo oda fula haridra sindura or rakte chandan tandula. On the upper portion of the plaintive leaf, he placed such paraphernalia for worship as oda fula, turmeric, vermilion, red sandalwood, and rice. These are all paraphernalia for worshipping goddess Durga or Bhavani. मध्य भांड पाशे धरी निज घरे गेला प्रातः काले श्रीवास ताहा ते देखिला. He placed a pot of wine besides all this, and in the morning when Shiva's Thakur opened his door, he saw this paraphernalia. बड़ा बड़ा लोक सभा आनी लो बोलाइया सवारे कहे श्रीवास हसिया हसिया. Sivas Thakur called for all the respectable gentlemen of the neighborhood and smilingly addressed them as follows. Nityaratri kari ami bhavani pujana amara mahima dekha brahmana sajjana. Gentlemen, every night I worship the goddess Bhavani. This is not the fact. Every night what is happening is this Sankirtan performed by Lord Chaitanya. Since the paraphernalia for this worship is present here, Now all you respectable Brahmanas and members of the higher caste can understand my position. So he did not resist, he did not make any noise, he did not want to find out who has done this conspiracy. Uh, In fact, he took it as his own, and on his own, he claimed that all of it is being done by him. According to the Vedic system, there are four castes: the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudras. And below them are the Panchamas, literally member of the fifth group, who are lower than the Shudra. The higher caste, the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, and even the Vaishyas, were known as Brahman Sajjana. The Brahmanas especially were known as Sajjana, or respectable gentleman, who guided the entire society. The Brahman is compared to the head, which makes us see and move progress further. If there were disputes in the village, people would approach their respectable Brahmanas to settle them. Now it is very difficult to find such Brahmanas and Sajjanas. And thus every village and town is so disrupted that there is no peace and happiness anywhere. To revive a fully cultured civilization, the scientific division of society into Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras must be introduced all over the world. This is Prabhupada's mission and his vision to have Devi Varnashram system. Prabhupada is saying that this must be introduced all over the world. Unless some people are trained as Brahmanas, there cannot be peace in human society. तबे सब शिष्ट लोका करे हाहाकार आइछे कर्म हेता कैला कौन दुराचार. So when Sivas was claiming that all of it has been done by him, none of the gentlemen accepted it. Then all of the assembled gentlemen exclaimed, "What is this? What is this? Who has performed such mischievous activities? Who is that sinful man?" हाड़ी के आनिया सब दूर कराइला जल गोमाय दिया से स्थान लिपाइला. They called for a sweeper. The sweeper was called as Hadi, who threw all the items of worship far away and cleaned the place by mopping it with a mixture of water and cow dung. The long purport. तीन दिन रही से गोपाल चपल सर्वांगे होइला कुष्ठ वाहे रक्त धर. So this Gopal Chapal, the envious Brahmana, who had plotted and performed such abominable act, what happened with him? That teen din rahi sei Gopal Chapal. After 3 days, leprosy attacked Gopal. Sarvanga hoila kushta. Kushta is rog, kushta rog, leprosy. And from his portion affected by leprosy, vahe raktadha, and blood would continuously flow or ooze from the source of the body which was affected by leprosy. So it was very, very pitiable situation. Sarvanga badile kite kate nirantar Ashya vedana dukhe jwalaye antara. So this Gopal Chapal's entire body was affected by the leprosy and it was bleeding, incessantly covered with germs and insects biting him all over his body. And when the leprosy is there, it is very, very painful disease. The portion of the organs, they start to melt. It starts to decay in a sense. And there are many, many germs and insects. They also start to manifest from that affected area. Gopal Chapal felt unbearable pain. His entire body burned in distress. Ganga gate vriksha tale rahe tavashiya ek din bale kichu prabhu ke dekhiya. Since leprosy is an infectious disease, Gopal Chapal left the village to sit down on the banks of the Ganges underneath a tree. So this is very contagious communicable disease. So in a way, he was discarded from the society and he was outside the village. So he sat on the bank of the Ganges in the shade of a tree and he was waiting for Lord Chaitanya. One day, however, he saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passing by and spoke to him as follows. Grama sambandha ami tomar matula bhagini mui kushta vyadite anachi vyakula. So this Gopal Chapal, when he met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so what he is submitting, he says, Grama sambandhe ami tomara matula. That I am your maternal uncle. Matula means maternal uncle. So according to the relationship in the village, my dear nephew, I am your maternal uncle in our village relationship. Please see how greatly this attack of leprosy has affected me. So Mahaprabhu is Mahavadanya. Mahaprabhu has come to remove the distress of everyone. So this Gopal Chapal is submitting to Lord. Let's see how greatly distressed I am. And you are there to deliver us. So why don't you deliver me? लोक सब उद्धारिते तोमार अवतार मुई बड़ा दुखी मोरा करहा उद्धार. As an incarnation of God, you are delivering so many fallen souls. And I am also so greatly unhappy fallen soul. Kindly deliver me by your mercy. See what is the response of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Eta suni Mahaprabhu hoila kruda mana krodha veshe bale tara tarjana vachana. So as soon as Mahaprabhu heard the words of this Gopal Chapal, immediately Mahaprabhu's heart, the anger arose. Hearing this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared greatly angry. And in that angry mood, he spoke some words chastising him. अरे पापी भक्त द्वेषी तोरे ना उद्धार मुँह कोटि जन्म ए मत कीड़ाए खयाई मुँह. O sinful person, envious of pure devotee, I shall not deliver you. Who is speaking? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself speaking. What is the purpose of his coming? What do we sing? Patita pavana hetu tave avatar. And Mosama Patita Prabhu, na pai pyar. So the purpose of your coming is to deliver the most sinful and the most fallen. And in the entire Nadi, you don't see anyone more sinful and more fallen than me. I have committed such offenses. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what is his response? He is saying, I shall not deliver you. Rather, I shall have you bitten by those germs for many millions of years. Mahaprabhu never raised his voice to speak with anyone. Ever have you seen any episode where Mahaprabhu is arguing or Mahaprabhu is shouting? No. But this is the first instance where Mahaprabhu is exhibiting such anger. Why so? Because Sivas is so much dear. We see in Mahabharata, Lord Krishna promised. What was Lord Krishna's promise? That in the war, he will not lift any weapon or he will never fight. And when Bhishma attacked Arjuna and his flurry of arrows was striking on Arjuna from all sides, what happened? How Krishna reacted? Krishna jumped from the chariot and he pulled one of the wheels of his chariot and converted it into Sudarshan Chakra, and then he charged, raging like a lion, to kill Bhishma. And when Arjuna is trying to hold Krishna and tell him that you have promised that you will not take up any weapon, you have even promised that you will not fight. And what are you doing, my Lord? The Lord pushed Arjuna and said, I will kill Bhishma. How dare he think of killing you? He broke all his promise. So here also we see the intense love that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has for Sivas. That Mahaprabhu is Patita Pavan. He is the deliverer of the most fallen. And here what is Mahaprabhu saying? Mahaprabhu is saying that not only I will not deliver you, Are papi bhakta dveshi, tore na udhari hu. Okay, you will not give me a favor. But rather he goes even further. Koti janma ei mata kidai khayai mu. I shall have you bitten by these germs for many millions of years. That's the Prabhupada's purport. We should note herein that all our suffering in this material world, especially from disease, are due to our past sinful activities. And all sinful activities, actions directed against a pure devotee out of sheer envy are considered extremely severe. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted Gopal Chappal to understand the cause of his suffering. Any person who disturbs the pure devotee engaged in broadcasting the holy name of the Lord is certainly punished like Gopal Chappal. This is the instruction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we shall see one who offends a pure devotee can never satisfy Chaitanya Mahaprabhu unless and until he sincerely regrets his offenses and thus rectifies it. So Mahaprabhu becomes so disgusted and so much in anger that he actually curses Gopal. Sivas karila tui bhavani pujana. This is before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advented actually. And in the morning I was speaking. Hare Krishna. So this incident that I am reciting from Chaitanya Charitamrita, this incident of Gopal Chappal with Shiva's exchange had happened before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advent, in fact. And for so many years, this Gopal Chappal was suffering. But Mahaprabhu is showing such relentless no compromising mood. Why? Because he wants to teach the lesson. It is only twice in Chaitanya Leela when we see such mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There is one more Mahaprabhu showed such mood. Where? Which episode? Yes, Purushottam?
So in Jagai Madhai.
In Madhai's case. We should not say Jagai Madhai. Madhai's case. When Mahaprabhu called upon his Sudarshan. And here we see, so how much close is Sivas that Mahaprabhu is willing to give up his position for his affection towards Sivas. Mahaprabhu is so furious. Mahaprabhu says, Sivas karaila tui bhavani pujana koti janma hobe tora raurava patana. You have made Shiva's Thakur appear to have been worshipping the goddess Bhavani. Simply for this offense, you will have to fall down into hellish life for 10 million births. What is the duration of 10 million births? पाषंडी समारी ते मोरा यही अवतार पाषंडी समारी भक्ति करिमु प्रचार. I have appeared in this incarnation to kill the demons, pashandis, and after killing them to preach the cult of devotional service. So it is said, Prabhupada is saying, as explained here, the real purpose of an incarnation of Godhead is to kill the atheist and maintain the devotees. He does not say, like so many rascals incarnations, that atheist and devotees are on the same platform. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Lord Sri Krishna, the real personality of Godhead, does not advocate such an idea. Atheists are punishable, whereas devotees are to be protected. To maintain this principle is the mission of all avatars of incarnations. One must therefore identify as an incarnation by his activities, not by popular vote or mental construction. Prabhupada is warning. One must therefore identify an incarnation by his activity, not by popular votes or mental concoctions. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave protection to devotees and killed many demons in the course of his preaching work. He specifically mentioned that the Mayavadi philosophers are the greatest demons. Therefore, he warned all others not to hear the Mayavadi philosophy. Mayavadi bhasha sunile hoilo sharvinas. Simply by hearing the Mayavadi interpretation of the Shastras, one is doomed. Eta bale gela Prabhu karite ganga snan sei papi dukha bhoge nayaya paran. So Mahaprabhu did not hear him. He completely rejected him, refused to him. After saying this, the Lord left to take his bath in the Ganges. And that sinful man did not give up his life, but continued to suffer. It appears that an offender to a Vaishnava continues to suffer and does not give up his life. We have actually seen that a great Vaishnava Apradhi continuously suffered so much that it was difficult for him to move, and yet he did not die. So this is one aspect, one section that I wanted to share. How intense is Srila Sivas? So you see the position of Sivas. Sivas is not feeling any agitation in his heart. He's completely peaceful. He's not affected by what Gopal Chapal is doing. Why? Because he is saturated in the love for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he's not disturbed. But the Lord will not leave the offender. Very important for us that we should never ever infringe a Vaishnava devotee or commit any aparat towards him. Otherwise, Krishna is in no mood to spare. Okay, so we see that after this Navdeep Leela, Mahaprabhu takes sannyas. And after Mahaprabhu took sannyas, he went to Puri. And from Puri, he wanted to go to Vrindavan. But instead of going to Vrindavan, he landed up being in Shantipur. So I'll take some section, little 10 minutes, I'll take some section from Chaitanya Bhagavat. This is after Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taken sannyas. And after sannyas, when Mahaprabhu comes towards Navadip, he is strict. He was to go to Vrindavan, but Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Prabhu brings him to Shantipur. So after remaining in Shantipur, in the house of Advaita Acharya, now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes to the house of Sivas Pandit. But Sivas Pandit could not bear the pain of separation from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Navadip. So he left his house, his Shiva's Angan, and he relocated himself to a place called Kumar Hatta. But wherever the devotee may go, whatever he may do, but the Lord is always there in the heart. So we see how Lord manifests himself. काटा दिन था कि प्रभु अद्वैत रग हरे आइला कुमार हटा शिवास मंदिरे. After staying a few days at the house of Advaita in Shantipur, the Lord went to the house of Shiva's Pandit in Kumar Hatta. When we were coming this time from Krishnanagar towards Sialda, so all the station came. If you remember the names, the present name of Kumar Hatta is Ali Shahar. This came in the line. It is situated near Kacharapada. This place is called Kancharapada or Kacharapada. Normally it is called Kacharapada on the East Bengal railway line. Shivas, Sri Shivanand said, Sri Vasudev Thakur and other devotees of Gaura lived in this place. Krishna dhyane anande vasi ache na Shivas achambita dhyana phal sammukhe prakash. So when Srivas Thakur had left out of his intense feeling of separation, they vacated Navadip, and they were staying in this place of Kumarahatta. And what he was doing, Srivas was sitting in meditation on Krishna when he suddenly saw the object of his meditation present before him. So who came forward? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came there. निज प्राणनाथ देखी श्रीवास पंडित दंडवत होया पड़िला पृथ्वीता. Seeing the Lord of his life, Prananath dekhi, Srivas Pandit fell on the ground, offering obeisances. Shri Charana Vakshe Kari Pandit Thakur Ucche Sware Dirgha Swase Mandena Prachura. Pandit Thakur held the Lord's lotus feet to his chest and sighed deeply as he cried loudly. Gauranga Sundara Shivasera Kari Kole Sinchina Angatana Premananda Jale. So Gaur Sundar, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he embraced Shivas and soaked his body with tears of ecstatic love. Sanchile Angatara Premananda Jale. Prema Ashru Jale. Shukrita Srivase Goshti Chaitanya Prasade Sabe Prabhu Dekhe Urdha Bahur Kari Khande. By the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, everyone in Shiva's household was most pious. They all raised their arms and cried on seeing the Lord. So, all of a sudden, from nowhere, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has reached their place. Vaikuntera Nayak Grihe Paya Shrivas Hena Nahi Janena Ki Janmila Ullas. On receiving the Lord of Vaikuntha in his house, Shiva's happiness knew no bounds. Apane mathaye kari uttama asana dile nava shila tatha komala lochana. He brought a fine seat on his head. Apane mathaye kari uttama asana. So on his head, he personally carried the asana. He brought a fine seat on his head and offered it to the lotus-eyed Lord who sat on it. So as Mahaprabhu came without any information and without any notice, Chaturdike Vasilena Parishad Gana Sabhai Gayana Krishna Nama Anukshana. All the Lord's associates sat around him and continuously chanted the names of Krishna. Jayo Jayo Kari Grihe Pati Vrata Gana Hoila Ananda Maya Srivasa Bhavana. The chaste ladies of the house vibrated auspicious sound. Grihe Pati Vrata Gana. And Shiva's entire house became filled with ecstasy. प्रभु वाले न मात्र पंडित तेरा घरे वार्ता पाई आचार्य पुरंदर. So when Acharya Purandar heard that the Lord has arrived in Shiva's Pandit house, he immediately came there. So this is another personality. And then Vasudev Datta also comes. A lot of details are there about him. Hey Matarange Prabhu, Shri Gaura Sundara, Kata Din Rahi Lena, Shiva Se Raghara. In this way, Shri Gaura Sundar joyfully stayed a few days in the house of Shivas. Shivas Ramai Dui, Bhai Gun Gaye, Vival Hoya Nache, Vaikunthe Raraye. The two brothers, Shivas and Ramai, glorified the Lord's qualities, and the Lord of Vaikuntha became overwhelmed with ecstasy as he danced. Of course, no one else is dancing. There is no one to support, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in such mood that he cannot hold the ecstasy. Chaitanya Rati Priya Shivas Ramai Dui Chaitanya Radeha Dvidha Pichunai. One more. Shivas and Ramai were most dear to Lord Chaitanya, and there is no doubt. And these two were as good as Lord Chaitanya's body. Sankirtana Bhagavata Patha Vyavare Vidushaka Leela Ashesha Prakare Janmena Prabhura Santosha Shiva Dhyara Gahe Prabhu Sarvada Prakar. Shivas pleased the Lord in various ways by performing Sankirtan, reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, and displaying proper etiquette. In this way, his house was that the Lord first revealed himself. That is what we see in Navadip Leela. एक दिन प्रभु श्रीनिवास रे सहित व्यवहार कथा किचु कहे ना निवृता. This is very interesting. This is the point coming. One day in a solitary place, the Lord asked Shivas about his household affairs. प्रभु बोले तुम्ही देखी कथाओ ना याओ कीमते वाकुलीबो कीमते खुलाओ. The Lord asked, I see that you do not go anywhere. Then how do you maintain your family? And how will you maintain them? Shiva se bole na Prabhu kathao yaite nalaye amar chitta kahinu tumate. Shiva replied, Oh Lord, I tell you that I don't like to go anywhere. Prabhu bole parivar anek tomhar nirvaha कीमत तबे होइबा सबार. The Lord then said, you have large family, the four brothers, and the family of at least the four brothers. So you have a large family. How will you maintain them all? Shiva se bole na yara adrishta yathake sei se hai beka mili beka yete pake. Shiva said, one will somehow or other receive whatever he is destined to receive. प्रभु बोले तबे तुम्ही करह संन्यास ताहा न परिबम मुई बले ना Shivas. The Lord said that you should take sannyas, and Shivas replied, I cannot do that. प्रभु बोले संन्यास ग्रहण न करिबा भिक्षा किर करिते कारो द्वारे या ना याइबा. The Lord said, you will not take sannyas, and you will not go to anyone's door to beg alms. So how will you maintain yourself? কিমতে করিবা পরিবারেরা পোষণ কিছুই না বুঝি মুই তোমার বচন then how will you maintain your family? I do not understand. What are you saying? এই কালেতে কথাও না গেলে না আইলে वात मंत्र कहराओ आसिया ना मिली. Nowadays, if one does not go out and bring anything, nothing will come. Who is speaking? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. ना मिलीला यदि असी तुम्हार दुयारे तबे तुम्ही की करीबा बाला हमारे. So Mahaprabhu is testing him. He's saying, tell me, if nothing comes to your door, what will you do? शिवा से बोली ना हाथे तीन ताली दिया एक दुई तीन एक कहिलो भागिया. Shiva clapped his hand 3 times and said, 1, 2, 3. This is the secret. प्रभु बोले एक दुई तीन एक कारी लाकी अर्थ इहारा बोले के ना ताली दिला. The Lord said, what is the meaning of this 1, 2, 3? Why did you clap? शिवा से बोले नाई दाढ़ा न मारा तीन उपवास यदि ना मिले आहार तबे सत्य कहो घाट बाड़ी अगलाया प्रवेश करी मुमुई सर्वथा गंगाया. Shiva replied, this is my firm conviction, Dridha Ama, that if I do not receive food for 3 days, then I tell you the truth. I will tie a pot to my neck and drown myself in the Ganges. Ei matra Shiva sera suniya vachana hunkar kariya uthe sachira nandana. As soon as the son of Sachi heard Shiva's words, he roared loudly and stood up. प्रभु बोले की बोलीला पंडित श्रीवास तोरा के अन्य जानिया होई बा उपवास. The Lord said, what did you say, Pandit Sivas? You will starve for want of food? यदि कदाचित लक्ष्मियो भिक्षा करी तथापि दरिद्र नाही बघोर तर तोरे घरे. Even if Lakshmi has to beg, your household will never be afflicted by poverty. This is for the second time. First time was when? When was the first time? That Mahaprabhu said that even Lakshmi has to beg, but there cannot be any scarcity in your house. This is my personal guarantee. And this is for the second time. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving the same benediction and telling and reassuring Shivas that there will never be any economic problem for you, or there will not be hardly any problem for you. Okay. Even if Lakshmi has to beg, you are able to see the screen? Yes, no?
No problem.
No.
No? Even if Lakshmi has to beg, your household will not be afflicted by poverty. Even if Lakshmi Devi, the source of unlimited potencies and all opulence, ever faces poverty, the unalloyed topmost devotee Shiva's Pandit will never face poverty. आपने ये गीता शास्त्रे बलिया छे मुई ताहो की शिवा से पाशारीला तुई. O Shivas, have you forgotten what I have personally said in the Bhagavad Gita? Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nitya viyuktanam yogashamam vahamyam. So Krishna declared in Bhagavad Gita that those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, ananyas chintayanto, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. ये जना चिंते मोरे अनन्य होइया तारे भिक्षा देहा मुई माथाए बाहिया. I personally carry on my head the need of any person who thinks of me without deviation. यही मोरा चिंता नाही आया करो द्वारे आपने आसिया सर्व सिद्धि मिली तारे. All perfections will automatically come to one who thinks of me but does not go to anyone door. धर्म अर्थ काम मोक्ष आपने आईशे तथापि ना चाहे ना लाए मोर देशे. Even religiosity, economic development, and sense gratification and liberation automatically come to my servants. They do not look to them or accept them. Now, next, one more point. Mora Surdarshan Chakra Rakhe Mora Das Mahapralayo Yara Nahika Vinash. My Sudarshan Chakra always protects my devotees. Even during the final dissolution, they are not destroyed. Even there is pralaya, there is nothing is lost. ये मोहरा दासेरा ओ करा स्मरण ताहरे ओ कारण मोहि पोषण पालन. I personally protect and maintain anyone who remembers even my servant. सेवा केरा दास से मोहर मोहार प्रिय बड़ा अन्या से मोरा पाया दड़ा. The servant of my servant is more dear to me. Again, the servant of my servant is more dear to me. Such a person easily attains me without a doubt. कौन चिंता तुम कौन चिंता मोरा शिव बख्शाए करी मुई अरा पोष्टि आचु सबार उपरी. How can my servant be in anxiety for food when I am there to maintain him all respects? Oh Sivas, you just sit happily at home. Everything will come to your doorstep. My benediction to Advait and you is that your bodies will never be affected by old age. Then Shri Gaurasundar called Ramai Pandit and said to him, "Oh Ram, listen to what I say. My order is that you must always serve your elder brother as if he was the supreme personality of Godhead. Oh Shri Ram Pandit, you are as dear to me as my own life. You should never give up the service of Shivas." So in this way, there are many episodes, many pastimes, and very powerful pastimes of Srila Srivas Pandit. And we see that how intimately Srivas served Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and pleased him with his service mood, with his desire to serve. He had such strong desire to serve that Mahaprabhu gave him most wonderful opportunity in his descent. Anyone wants to say something? कुछ कहना है तो बोलिए. शिवास, आप में से ज्यादातर लोगों को शिवास आंगन का एक्सपीरियंस हो गया है. बोलो, don't remain a kripana, don't remain a miser. Yes, बोलो दयाशील.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, one should be very careful while dealing with the devotees. One should not discriminate any devotees, and he should not offend any devotees. We saw the pastime of Gopal Chapala. So
Envy should not
even
be there. Most important thing is envy. Out of envy, hatred, jealousy, one should not act. If one is seeing that others are doing better, he should try and appreciate. What was the fault of Gopal Chappal? Because he was not getting entry. So he became envious and he tried to defame. This must be strictly checked and avoided. Okay. Okay, so I'll end up. I don't see the enthusiasm to glorify Shiva's Thakur. None of you are, wanting to speak. No glories have entered in your heart. I don't know. You're always like a worldly person hesitating, more image conscious than Krishna conscious, not wanting to glorify the Supreme Lord and his associates. If you glorify, Lord Chaitanya will be so pleased, but it should be genuine. Whatever is coming in your heart, you speak. Why he will give you shelter? Why next year you should be entitled to stay there? Still no one is speaking. Okay, anyway. Sivas Thakur Avirbhav Tithi